Oh, do you mind if I record a copy on my set?
Go ahead. We're going live. There's an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an
I
infinite
guess it's recording in your cloud.
amount of cash at the Federal interesting. Reserve. We'll see how that turns out.
Hmm?
Good morning, Bitcoin. Today's Tuesday, February 9th, 2021. My name is Thomas Hunt, and we're joined by Gary from the Decentralized Dance Party. How's it going, Gary?
Going pretty good.
So just to start off, to let the audience know what Gary's up to, we're going to do a screen share here. You can follow Gary at Gary LaChance on Twitter. He's been doing the Decentralized Dance Party. They just had a major announcement, a live virtual decentralized Doge party, an opening party for Ethereum Denver. And they're announcing Doge Peace Bonds. Pretty exciting stuff. For those of you that don't know, the Decentralized Dance Party, basically they just get a bunch of boombox and an FM transmitter, and they show up in your neighborhood and they throw a party. It's really positive. It's not about like drugs or drinking or anything like that. Anyone can join. They've had these parties at airports and train stations and all kinds of public places. And it's just this really neat project. I was fortunate they're working on Doge Peace Bonds that we're going to talk about today. And I was fortunate enough to get to meet Gary all the way out at Burning Man, where we did a little interview in 2014. You guys can check it out in the description below. But just to get us started, I want to just play just a little bit of that interview where almost 7 years ago now, I guess, Gary was already talking about the very beginnings of this idea of the Doge Peace Bonds. So take it away, Gary. Here we go.
To finance the global party pandemic, we're going to issue $1 million worth of peace bonds denominated exclusively in Dogecoin, or maybe Doge Party. I'm still figuring that out.
Peace bonds. I thought they were party bonds.
Party peace bonds. It's all the same.
Absolutely.
Partying is peace.
Partying is peace.
Partying is peace. So take it away, Gary. Welcome to the show. What have you been working on lately?
Well, in the 7 years since we recorded that video at the inaugural Camp Dogecoin, just been working on the DDP, elevating the party vibe and furthering the objectives of the Doge pretty much nonstop. And yeah, we're getting close to finally having these peace bonds live and out in the world. It's been quite a journey, let me tell you. But yeah, we're getting there.
Now, when you started with Dogecoin, it was still very early and maybe a bit of a joke, but recently major players such as Elon Musk and even Snoop Dogg have joined the Doge movement. How is the Doge community doing these days?
Seems to be doing pretty well. Still definitely a joke, but sometimes jokes have more power to update the world than anything else. So yeah, it's nice to see it finally really catching on in a big way. People being turned on to the Doge and just having fun with it. Like there's no funner cryptocurrency. And one of my favorite quotes is, if it's not fun, it's not sustainable. So this is the first time I think we've ever had a currency that's actually fun and silly and enjoyable. And we definitely need some of that after or during a pandemic. So it's all coming together.
And I'm wearing my mask today. We have a guy working here in the house, so I'm wearing the mask out of respect to him. But as far as I know, I'm fine. As far as I know, he's fine. But we're just putting extra layers up here to protect people. But also about Doge, a lot of people talk about it being a good way to get into cryptocurrency and to try it out. You can still buy it for under 10 cents. It's relatively affordable. You can buy a whole Doge, unlike a whole Bitcoin, which is almost impossible for a normal person to buy right now. Even Mark Cuban, famous cryptocurrency skeptic, said that he was interested in Doge and he taught his kids to trade Doge so that they could learn stuff. What do you think about that idea, starting out with Doge?
For sure. Yeah, it's great that you don't have to have like a 0.000526. You can have 100 Doge pretty easily and just start giving it away and messing around with it, and the fees are super low. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to be the currency.
Now, a technical. Go ahead, Gary.
I was going to say the future of all trade and commerce, because man, I was just looking like some random Instagram account post last night. It was like Send It or something, and they posted, I don't know what, some Bitcoin thing. And I looked in the comments, and like more than half the comments were just like Doge, 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 Doge to the moon. I was just laughing, like, and this is just like normal people, and like everyone is just caught up in this because it's just fun and hilarious, and it's so good.
Well, Doge really does have the best memes. They also have that whole practical language of their own. We used to talk about leet speak back in the day, and you put Z's on the everything and put threes instead of E's. But Doge has even more than that, with the much wow and all the kind of things that Dogecoin people say. No one can compete. No one can compete with the Dogecoin memes.
Look at this face. How do I always get it backwards? Just look at this face. This beautiful face. Yeah, it's exciting times. We've been waiting for this for, what is it? Just over 7 years ago, Doge was launched. And yeah, we always felt it in our hearts and souls that this ought to be the guiding light for the whole decentralization movement. And yeah, we just started out. We did you mentioned the airport invasion party we did back 2013 New Year's, and we printed out all these Doge stickers and we put them on all the boom boxes. Like, we still got them there. So I was in my house surrounded by boom boxes, and this face just looking at me, and we were sitting there and we were like, just still laughing. Like months later, we're like, man, this isn't getting old. This is still so good. And then we just had these boom boxes everywhere we went for future parties, and people were like, is this some sort of cult? And we were like, yeah, I think so. And then we started, like, once you look into it, like, Doge spelled backwards is egod or ego death, and like, that's exactly what it inspires, like just silliness, sending the Jamaican bobsled team to the Olympics, like NASCAR, all the Dogecons, all the other wacky stuff that's gone on. Like, there's just something about this face. Like, nothing needs to be explained. It's just like, this just inspires silliness. So yeah, one of our favorite phrases is silliness is next to godliness. And in my mind, spirituality is the death of the ego. And when you have the death of the ego, you just spend your life being silly, having fun, good times, and building community. And the Doge is inspiring all that. So pretty sure it's a divine avatar here to unite the world and all sorts of good things.
The Doge meme, which did predate the coin, is definitely one of the strongest memes on the internet. It's an incredibly cute dog. It's, you just stare at it and you're like, wow, the cuteness, you can just feel it. And I think you get the character right away. I mean, I'm looking at the dog you have projected on the screen there, and he just looks like sweet, mischievous, fun. Like, he has all the aspects you want to see. And, I like Bitcoin, big Bitcoin supporter, but that B just doesn't do anything compared to the Doge. If I had a Doge on this hat, it would be way cooler.
It's not nearly as evocative. And that's another key point here, is that the Doge is actually female. So perfect avatar for this movement, because we're seeing the transition from hierarchical, patriarchal systems to more horizontal, feminine, holistic systems. So the Doge, perfect in every way. And she's actually still alive. There's an Instagram you can follow. Frequent updates. Kabosu, Kabosuma.
That does make it all the better that the Doge is female, the mother goddess, giving birth to a movement. All of those metaphors are all in play with a female Doge. Of course, going back to the beginning, when Jackson Palmer started Dogecoin, he kind of started it as a joke. He doesn't really like Bitcoin. He was kind of trying to be jokey and critical of it. And one of the most interesting things I think that people don't ever talk about is that Jackson has said, specifically now, that he was inspired by Feathercoin and the Feathercoin community, that they were a more welcoming community than Bitcoin. I know my friend Chris Ellis did a lot of work with them to make it that way. And what do you think, Gary, about the early origins of Doge and Feathercoin?
Feathercoin. I remember it on the charts. I thought it was a clone of Litecoin, but I don't know.
I think it was at the time they were saying that Litecoin was Bitcoin's quarter because there was 4 times more. And then I think with the Feather, they made it like Litecoin's quarter. There was like 8 times more Feather. You would just increase the number of units back in the day to give your coin something different, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's perfect. Just the fact that there's so many in circulation is, people are always like, oh, there's no fixed supply. And it's like, maybe that isn't what Doge needs to be. Like, ideally, the price per coin isn't going to get as crazy as Bitcoin, because once you get into those fractions, it's just not as fun. So it's great when you can still give someone 100 Doge or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to get pretty wild here. We'll probably see $1 before too long. And what was I going to say? Yeah, have you seen they've been bridging Doge with Ethereum. There's like 2 bridges now. There's P Doge and Ren Doge, so you can like lock up your Doge and do whatever it's called, yield farming. So it's a serious financial instrument, not to be underestimated.
Like they got some DeFi going there. There's a DeFi and the Doge.
Yeah, for sure. I could show you. We got like a 1-minute teaser video for what we got going on.
Let me ask one more technical question. Previously, Doge was its own coin. Then I believe it was merged mined with Litecoin. Is that still the case? Is it merged mine, or have they changed it since then?
Yeah, as far as I know, about, I don't know what, 5 years ago or something, they merged mined with Litecoin, so it's way less likely to be 51% attacked, and that has served her well. And yeah.
And for the record, back in the day, we had a little bit of miners at my house, and we did successfully solo mine a single block of Doge. We were very briefly Doge millionaires, but I think we sold it for like $100 or something. So, oh well. But it was fun to be part of it and to get a single block. That was a big risk for our little concern. We were probably mining for like a week, getting nothing. And then we lucked out, we hit the block, we got the Doge, and it was really cool for us.
Oh man, are you sure you sold it? You don't have it in like a...
No, I'm really good about cleaning out my old accounts. I know I have friends right now. They're looking through all their wallets. Do I have any of this left over? But
yeah, it's got to be the most lost crypto. And yeah, we still, like, on some of our videos, we had a donation address. I was looking at it like a couple weeks ago on a bunch of our Doge videos. It went, I only had what are they called? iPhones. There was no iPhone wallet or any good solution. So my buddy had Android, and I was like, can we send this to your phone? And there was like, I think almost $1,000 worth in there. So now it's like 10 grand in Doge just gone because his phone broke or got lost or something. So, and yeah, I know a lot of people are like, man, I had, I just remember my other buddy said he had 6 grand worth of Doge, like, but when it was below a cent. I don't know. There's a lot of it that got lost, but
I know my buddy Chris Franco on Twitter. He's the best. He put out a tweet. He's like, I've lost more Dogecoin than you will ever own. I believe him because Chris was one of those guys that bought those alpaca socks with Bitcoin back in the day. So he knows about the pain of this thing after a few years, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best currency because like even if you lose a bunch of it, it's still funny. Like you just gotta laugh.
It really
Like
is.
it's
And
not
the
funny to lose Bitcoin, but losing Doge, like it's a knee slapper.
yeah, it's not so bad. I think it'll be fine. But go ahead. You have a minute video to start us off on the peace bonds. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, this will provide a little clarity, or maybe just inspire more questions. So yeah, give me a thumbs up if the audio's working. Hi, I'm Gary of Tom and Gary's Decentralized Dance Party. For 10 years, we hosted gigantic open source
It's working, but it's quiet. Try to turn it up.
using an FM radio transmitter to broadcast out to hundreds of boomboxes, creating a mobile, synchronized sound system. These parties completely transform public space, allowing total strangers to instantly connect on a deep human level. Let me try again. Might have, missed one of the settings. All right, here we go. Hi, I'm Gary of Tom and Gary's Decentralized Dance Party. For 10 years, we hosted gigantic open source parties all over the world. We did this using an FM radio transmitter to broadcast out to hundreds of boomboxes, creating a mobile, synchronized sound system. These parties completely transform public space, allowing total strangers to instantly connect on a deep human level. Our ultimate goal was always to host a simultaneous global party that would unite the world in celebration and earn us the Nobel Peace Prize. When the pandemic canceled everything, we began hosting virtual parties and quickly realized that by linking giant portable speakers to our virtual world, we could now create mixed reality global celebrations. The pandemic had revealed the key to uniting the world. The next step is to host multiple DDPs at ETH Denver 2021. An extremely fun and 100% free blockchain conference held in virtual space. This will also be the release of our Peace Bond NFTs. Join us as we co-create the open source revolution and lay the foundations for a future that will maximize freedom, creation, and loving connection.
Very cool. So Doge Bond NFTs.
Yeah, we've had this idea since early 2014. I remember I was doing an interview, a TV interview about Dogecoin, because there was like CTV? They're like, we keep hearing about this new coin. Like, what is it? And somehow they found me. So I wanted to do the interview and then had this very random eureka moment where for some reason I was just thinking about war bonds, like they used to sell to raise money to wage a war back in World War II days. And I was just thinking, I was like, man, like buying Doge is like buying war bonds, but for peace, because it is obviously the key to our unification and ascension. And then I was like thinking more about DDP. I was like, yeah, we need to like make these peace bonds as a way to raise money to wage peace through partying on a global scale. And yeah, for 7 years, been working towards this idea. And we actually, in 2014, we were like almost ready to launch, but the tech was way, way, way too early. I mean, we could have made things, but they're just like the wallets and things. Like even back then, I didn't have a Doge wallet on my phone. So we've always had the idea and been talking about it and working towards it. And this past year, we've been working on there's a lot to tell here. But yeah, we started doing the parties virtually during the pandemic and then realized pretty quick that this is the way to do a simultaneous global party, because you can do mixed reality events where everyone on the Zoom call can be a node out in the world with a boombox or one of these giant soundbox speakers, huge superpower Bluetooth speaker. And then you can have 1,000 people on a Zoom call. Each one of those can be blasting music for 1,000 people. So It's a way to like instantly DJ to 1 million or more people all over the world with two-way audio video links. Like they can have screens set up showing everyone else in the party, and you can spotlight each other. So we're like, wow, this is the key finally to doing this.
That's funny how the pandemic actually helped you. That you had to go home to the box, and you're like, well, we're all stuck in a box now, but maybe we can be stuck in boxes together. I think that's a surprisingly positive outcome from this very negative pandemic.
Yeah, for sure. There have been lots of silver linings and lots of new connections made, and yeah, it's been a very interesting thing to be a part of, and spend half my day on Zoom now, but it's rad. Like I can just be beaming in the most awesome, amazing, interesting people all over the world and just like connecting and building stuff. So definitely.
So what's the next step? You've decentralized the decentralized dance party. It's even more decentralized now. And now what are you going to do with the Doge bonds?
Yeah, so it's all just kind of come together at the last minute. We were raising money starting to raise money to finish this documentary, which I've been working on for like 8 years now. It's been the most crazy, ridiculous odyssey, and we've been filming more and more footage the whole time, and the story's been evolving, and everything's been getting better and better. It's no time to tell that whole story. But we were like, yeah, we finally got everything we need. Let's make this happen. After this epic party on World Peace Day, September. So started working on raising money for that, putting the pitch together, applying for grants, doing all this stuff. And then at some point I was like, man, we should start for people that donate money. Like the idea is the film's going to be totally open source, copyright free. So I was mostly reaching out to people in the crypto open source community. And I was like, man, in exchange for donating, we should give them peace bonds. So maybe it's time to finally do this. And then I was noticing that the NFT world was starting to really explode, and I had lots of friends in that world and started researching. And I was like, man, this is the time. This is the way to do it. And we got invited to do parties at ETH Denver. Good friend Jessica Angel invited us to be a part of that. It's running right now, so ethdenver.com, ethdenver.com is the place to go. Check it out. It's definitely got to be the coolest virtual crypto conference there's ever been. Lots of fun.
Well, that's very cool. And I love the idea of the Doge bonds. I think it's good for peace. And I also think there's a ton of material to work with. Like you were saying, during the war, especially in the United States, they sold war bonds. And I think especially as a history major, we've all seen hundreds of pictures of buy war bonds and buy war bonds and all the kind of marketing they used to do. And it would be just a no-brainer to, slap Doge on there, put a dog in the picture. I just look forward to all the memes. I think it's a very memeable idea.
Hope so. Do you see the image here?
Yep, we can see the peace bond. It looks like a Vera bond or an instrument of serious finance.
That was the idea. So there's a 10, 100, 300, 1,000, 5,000 might be my fave. And then there's a 10, a 50, and 100,000. And the idea is to raise $1 million worth of peace bonds to finance our bid for the Nobel Peace Prize, which we believe will win if we successfully unite the world in celebration. And the idea has been that once we win the Nobel Prize, which is about $1 million, everyone gets paid back on their peace bond. But yeah, there's been a bit of a pause because I've been advised that we should probably get the legalese completely sorted out before we do this. I've always just been like, it's just this art, and yeah, everyone's getting paid back. It's not like we're promising they're going to make $1 million or this or that, but yeah. close friend.
I'm not sure about the money making part of it, but I like it as a donation, that you're donating to Doge and you're donating to peace, and what happens happens. I also think, I know everything's virtual now and it's great, but boy, I'd love to see a stack of those Doge bonds in real life. If you printed them out, some really nice paper, and you wrapped them in plastic or whatever, make them look like the movies when they rob the bank or whatever. And I got a stack of the Vera bonds. I got the vital money here, like the truth. Like that'd be super fun just as a prop.
Yeah, we definitely want to make printed versions as well, and the higher denominations have like print them out on really awesome paper and make them look beautiful.
Could get those big checks. Give somebody a big check. Here's your Dogecoin check. Yeah,
that would be good. And yeah, there's all these new really cool digital picture frames for NFTs. Have you seen those?
No, but it sounds cool. I like the idea. Yeah.
It's like $80 and it'll play your NFT on a loop, or there's bigger ones. And I think you can actually, you have your phone wallet and there's some way you like scan in your key or something, and you can have like a big 32-inch screen. But yeah, the NFT world is super cool. Have you looked into it much?
Not that much recently. I was mainly into, back in the day, like rare Pepes and curio cards and stuff like that. But I think it works best. One of the places I've seen it work best is in Decentralized. They have like an art gallery, and they buy the NFTs and then they put them on their wall, and then you can wander around the art gallery and you can see the NFTs that they own. That really brings it together to me, where you own a digital item and you have a place to put it, and you have other people can come see it, like your collection. Like that works all the metaphors for me.
Yeah, it's super cool. That's the example I was going to bring up. You're starting to see like items that can be transferred between video games, and just like, everything with augmented reality. You could like, Decentraland could be, or someone could post a NFT anywhere, and it's wild, the ramifications of all this for copyright and everything else, and weird fundraising opportunities. Like,
there's a lot of strange fundraising opportunities. They're going on and on Clubhouse about, I forget the artist's name, but somebody sold an NFT for like $70,000. And of course, like a lot of people are like, yay, great for that guy. And a lot of other people are like, maybe I could do that. Maybe I could do that for 35,000, maybe 10, maybe $5, anything.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a huge stampede into these things. And I mean, ultimately, it's cool because it's like teaching lots of people about crypto, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Like, you could be in a totally impoverished, isolated country or town, and you could still make an NFT and sell it for a bit of money, and then that's your on-ramp to crypto, and you can start being a part of this world. So it's definitely a cool bridge, instead of just like buying a bunch of coins that you kind of hold in a wallet. It's like, oh, you can have this art and you can swap it or do whatever, or breed it if it's a crypto kitty or whatever happens there. It's like, it seems like NFTs are like the killer app of crypto that are gonna, like, that's like money. Yeah, it's interesting what a crypto blockchain can do for money, but for art and copyright and creativity and like actually owning digital goods and messing with them is like another level. And even like you can obviously have fractional ownership in like a house or a bridge infrastructure, someone's education, someone's movie, someone's album. Like, it totally levels the playing field for all sorts of crazy, weird crowdfunding opportunities. And yeah, it's too bad that there's legal impediments, but I'm sure it'll work itself out.
I remember Andreas used to say back in the day that some kids on the playground would just print their own coin, and pretty soon you'd have Joey coin, and he could trade it at 2-to-1 for Freddie coin or Michael coin or Jimmy coin, all these kind of coins. Do you think the NFT is actually making that a reality?
Yeah, it seems like that's the next step. Like community currencies and like weird ways. Like, I don't fully get all the DeFi stuff, but you can like, you could ask someone to like pay you in your coin by buying your coin, and then you could like stake your coin and do all kinds of new weird I had a good talk. Do you know Griff Green from Can't Be
I
Central?
don't.
I had a good talk. It's on my YouTube channel about the future of value. He's working on Giveth and Common Stack and just like totally new paradigms for how you can like create and exchange value in the world and like what gets valued. Like there's one project called Wildcards where it's like, I forget exactly how it works, but they're like incentivizing wildlife preservation through selling these wildlife crypto cards that are always kind of increasing in value or something. So yeah, like right now you see with the society we've got like this, it's not even capitalism, it's like corporatism, like totally ultra centralized collusion that really just funnels money up to the people at the very, very top. And a lot of it's just about exploiting resources and destroying the world. But if we can create these alternate value systems that actually incentivize people to be kind to each other and not just ruin our ecosystems, like I think that this is all the key. Like you can pass whatever laws and do this and that might help a little bit, but to actually incentivize and reward people for doing things that are benefiting everyone, it's like this is the way. Inspired by the Doge. So it's exciting. Like learning about NFTs, just the last few weeks, I've been just like blown away. Like it's like seeing the beginnings of crypto again. Like this is 2021's definitely going to be the year of the NFT. It's like changing
I think
everything.
one of the interesting ideas you're touching on there is community coins. And in Neil Stephenson's latest book, Fall or Dodge in Hell, I always read that as Doge in Hell every time
I
I
was
said
just
it.
going to say.
Yeah, it was a letter off. And it's funny because there's a lot of biblical and religious type things in the book that would have worked well with Doge being God. But one of the great things that Stephenson talked about is this idea of avatars and aliases. And one of the things that the kids in the book do is they create like an alias that is like one of them's a graphic designer, and one's a writer, and one's a video maker, and they work together, but they work together under the alias. And everything they publish is under this alias. And when they go get a job, no one knows that it's 3 people or 10 people or one person or whatever. It's the alias. They want to hire the alias. It doesn't matter, the alias is family or bloodline or any kind of nonsense. It's the work itself that speaks, and that many people can then just have these kind of disposable identities, much like with these coins, where they could come together, work on a project. You want to buy that project, buy the alias, buy the coin. The lineage doesn't matter anymore. I think that's a really cool idea for the future.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'd never even thought of that. In virtual times, it's pretty hard to know who's actually collaborating on something.
Well, the character in the book used it to get an interview with her mother, and her mother didn't know that she was going to interview her daughter. She just hired this alias that had certain qualifications and would get jobs done. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a team of people in China and one guy speaks for them in English and he's just part of the team, or if it's 20 people somewhere else or distributed, decentralized, anything. So I think that kind of stuff is really where we're going.
Yeah, you're definitely seeing that now. There's all kinds of huge, crazy, weird niche opportunities. Like if you could find people on Fiverr who are like reliable animators or whatever kind of job, and you can like coordinate them and collect them and then present yourself as whatever, and as long as the work gets done. Yeah, it's very interesting. Rewiring of everything, and yeah, just existing in these Zoom realms and we've been doing this crazy series of parties, like almost 50 parties every weekend since April, basically, and working with this team. They're called Co-Reality Collective. They created the Sparkleverse open source map software, and they did one of the universes in the Burning Man multiverse. And yeah, it's like this huge decentralized team just self-organizing. Never even met any of them in real life, and yeah, it's a lot easier too in many regards to work with people in virtual space, not have to go to an office and all the problems that come along with that. Like Like you don't really have to worry about like all the typical downfalls like sexual harassment and things that happen. I guess I've never worked in an office workplace, but when you're virtual, it's a lot easier to just like focus on a thing and not have to worry about a bunch of bodies being in the same spot. So it's definitely interesting.
There's also something to be said with just voice communication, because I know Clubhouse is really popular these days. And there's actually a chapter in Infinite Jest where David Foster Wallace talks about video phones versus normal phones. And he goes through a whole series of things. And basically, the people don't like video phones because you have to focus on it. I can't be doing anything else. I can't be drinking coffee or walking around the room or any of the things I would normally do. So eventually, they go back to audio only phones. So that they can get back to doing those things while they walk around. And it's hilarious to see it now with Clubhouse, the same exact thing, getting rid of the video, getting rid of this complication. I had to dress up in my suit. I'm wearing a mask. You could tell all these things. But if I was just audio only, you'd have no idea. And people really like that. I think they could go that way more.
Yeah, I signed up for an account because I heard there was a Doge channel. So it's just like a Zoom room, audio only, and people talk about a topic.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of little fires and a bunch of people standing around the fire, and you can kind of wander from fire to fire, and there's little chats going on. And at first, it's very exciting. I think it has a lot of potential. I don't want to be totally negative, but after a couple days, it's kind of like the price of Bitcoin, the price of stocks, the price of Bitcoin, and even for a couple days there, the price of Dogecoin. So there's not. It's tough to get past that. And I know people are super excited right now and all that stuff, but I think there's a lot of potential for audio only chats there and for community to form. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I like the video's fun. And I mean, you don't have to be focused. We're hanging out, like eating food and wandering away. We actually had a pretty cool experiment. We did on New Year's Eve, there was this 26-hour long like rolling party with this co-reality collective where we did the countdown and celebrated every single New Year's countdown with a host from each time zone. It was super cool. And then
that's awesome, man.
Kept that going after. Yeah. Like the party's still going from New Year's as far as I know. There's been this eternal Zoom room.
And you mentioned the Burning Man virtual party. That was fun too. I got to go to that this year. Didn't make it out to Burning Man. It's been a little while since I've been there, but it was surprisingly not bad. The VR thing, and you could kind of walk around and you'd go through portals that would take you to other camps, and the camps each had a feeling. They were like, oh, this is just a tent camp and there's some artwork, or this is a dance party camp and there's like big music and lots of graphics. And it was a really great thing. And I hope they kept it going. I'm not sure. I went a couple days after Burning Man and it was really quiet and like a dusty emptiness. But I think they could do that year round. I think that kind of virtual party thing is one of the things that is coming out of this pandemic that's here to stay.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to keep the party fire lit and awesome for nonstop. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's really interesting to see the Burning Man virtual community because it's just such a great community. I think it's tough to like I haven't spent any time in Decentralized. I don't really know what the vibe is there, but it feels like Burning Man spirit, values, community translated into a virtual world. Like that's a great recipe for awesome times online.
It really did. I was hanging out at this camp with some guy, and we were watching a video on the wall, and it was like a YouTube that was being played through, and it was all about like how you need to prepare for the playa and things you need to bring. And the guy was like, "That's my video. I made that like 5 years ago." I was like, "Holy crap! I make videos too." And like I was like, "Oh, well, let me check him out." And I could see it was so cool. He had his thing on, but he was looking down at his phone. And he was going to check out MadBitcoins on his phone. And I checked out his videos. And it was just so cool to actually meet someone in the virtual space. And one of the neat things about the Burning Man VR, in case you guys didn't go, is that you could kind of walk around to group and you could hear them. And then when you would walk further away, it was like a whisper. And it kind of had this like real life interaction, which one of the problems with Zooms is there's no kind of side channels. There's no like, take me into a room with just this guy or make a sub room. And in the virtual space, I found there was lots of little side channels. And if I didn't like this conversation, I could go over there and vice versa and all that. I thought that really helped it, that kind of normal communication.
Yeah, definitely. There's like breakout rooms in Zoom that you can do, but it's not quite there yet. But it has been surprisingly good for doing parties with. Like, it's all about most people are like, man, that sounds stupid. Like, you're gonna just dance in front of your computer. But like, if you get a big screen and you get a big speaker, and it's all about the spotlight. So it's like a lot of virtual parties is just like a DJ, and then there's a stream showing them. But for us, it's all about like spotlighting and highlighting people that are dancing, and like you have the mic connected, so you're playing music and like interacting live and hosting. My friend came up with the term human jockeying. So instead of just like choosing the music, you're like spotlighting who goes and interacting with them, and kind of it's this whole new art form. And yeah, it's been pretty neat. I could share this is the poster for the closing party at ETH Denver coming up Friday evening, 5 to 7 Pacific.
Will you have the banana guy there? Will someone be dressed as a banana?
It's pretty much inevitable, yeah. Definitely a staple of the DDP has been people in banana suits ever since Halloween 2009 when we first got our hands on a bunch of them.
I love the banana suit. I think it's hilarious. Also, any time that you can get people dressed in the same costume and then raid a place and there's like 20 banana suits in one place, that's just hilarious. I love watching that.
Yeah, it happened organically. It was around Burning Man. We were creating like virtual art cars, and then my friend, I don't even know how it started. He became this like banana overlord character where he just like rages in, and like the idea was we would play Limp Bizkit on repeat until everyone changed their background to a picture of bananas, like a virtual background, or like showed their bananas, and he would just like harass them. Like we'd just go into like a room where something nice was happening and just do that. And then it just became this thing now, like all these parties, everyone's got banana backgrounds, and all over the world, like Cassie and Haley, two good friends that have helped orchestrate it all. They ordered banana suits in Australia and other people in the States and like Ecuador, all kinds of places. So yeah, the banana suit is basically like the Doge of costumes. It's just the most fun, hilarious possibility to become.
So what do you have planned for the future of the DDP, and where can people check it out?
So the website is theddp.com, theddp.com. There's a sub menu there for the Peace Bonds to learn more about the history and get on the list for the launch notification. And also you can sign up for whichever Peace Bond you're interested in. And yeah, there's been pretty good, almost 100 replies so far, people that are seeking a bond. And yeah, we're just figuring out the exact legal guidance before we do it, which is never fun, but probably wise. And yeah, I'm still figuring, like when I went to issue them, I just went on Rarible. I was like, oh, this will be easy, like a month ago, like let's do this. And then the friggin' gas fee for creating an NFT right now is like literally $100. And then to transfer ownership of it is also $100. So it's like completely ridiculous. So you probably know, do you know Ken Bozak?
Yeah.
Noted crypto personality, CEO of NFTs. Most memeable man in crypto, maybe. Yeah, he's been teaching me the ways of, there's this other blockchain called Wax that has this Atomic Hub website interface that's really good. So potentially going to be issuing on there, but we're still working out. There's so many, like I thought this was going to be a straightforward thing, but it's like there's so many variables and things to consider, and like we need these things to last. Like a lot of people are creating NFTs and like the website is just hosting the images. So like if the website goes down, those are all going to break. So we got to do it on the best possible, most robust chain, host the files on IPFS, have it linked so it's as robust as possible, and then have a wallet. You got to consider all the different people coming in. Like it's not just going to be crypto folks. So ideally a way to teach them to have the wallet to hold it. And yeah, but then also you get into all these issues of like converting currencies, and it's like still. So this is kind of like one of the things. We're in this hackathon at ETH Denver trying to figure out the best possible solution, and it's been 7 years, so we were all excited about ETH Denver and wanted to like get it done and rush it out, but we want to do it right. So we're
very cool.
Figuring out the final details to pull it off without a hitch.
Well, be sure to let us know.
A lot of hitches.
Yeah. Well, let us know and come back when you guys are ready to launch. We'd love to do another interview and talk about it then. And everyone can check it out at theddp.com. We've got more links in the description below. You can even watch our epic interview from Burning Man 2014.
Yeah, I guess I forgot to mention the future of the DDP. So we've been working on a DDP documentary for many years now. There's probably over 3,000 hours of footage from all the way back to the 90s that are part of this thing. So we're working on building that, and yeah, globally activating as many people as we can to be DDP nodes, Doge nodes, spreading the love out into the world. And yeah, just head down working on that while the pandemic is doing its thing. And what's next for you?
Just still plugging away at these interviews, trying to fix my computer. Got some bad sectors, and can't wait to get traveling again someday, but I think it's going to be a long time. So I'm getting used to staying at home, riding the exercise bike, and trying to stay healthy.
Excellent. Well, thanks for having me on, and yeah, see you in the future.
All right. Very cool. Gary from the Decentralized Dance Party and the Doge Bonds. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share. Subscribe down below to the World Crypto Network. And thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow with another episode of Today in Bitcoin. Until next time, bye-bye.